The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
People get ready for the train to come. You don't need no baggage, you just need on board. You need a safe.
Hello, everybody out there listening to Armed Radio tonight. Thank you for tuning into my show, All Aboard. My name is Donald Whisman. This show is being broadcast live from Boston, Massachusetts. And like always, I want to send prayers out to all the men and women serving in our military today, past and present. You guys all know that my goal is to unite America. Just think, when our government sends our soldiers off to these foreign countries, our enemies don't see black, white, or tan. They see Americans. And our enemies don't care what your political party is neither. They just want to kill you because you're American. And that's the way I feel, you guys. I mean, I want us all to come together. This black, white, and Hispanic stuff, all this division in this country, it's got to come to an end. Now, let me go ahead and introduce my co-host tonight. I've got Les Skymo and Dave Coots. If you guys want to go ahead and say hello to everybody tonight.
Hello, world on Armed Radio.
Hey, guys.
That was a short one, Dave. I like that. Sweet and short. I like it. Anyway, I just want everybody to know that the decisions that we make today in this country is things that our children and grandchildren are going to have to live with, you guys. So think about that. And my whole purpose, too, is also to see our children and grandchildren grow up and have the same rights that we had when we was growing up, when we were kids. Our kids should have that right, so let's not take it from them. Let's be careful who we vote in, you guys. I'm telling you, this country, you may not believe it, but one day, if we don't watch what we're doing, we could get somebody like a Hitler, or we could get somebody like a Joseph Stalin. The way things are going nowadays, I just don't know, you guys. Now, I do have a Facebook group. It's called Trump 2020. Exclamation point, but just don't forget that exclamation point because there's other Trump 2020s in there. If you support Donald Trump, we'll be more than welcome to join our group, and we're glad to have you. Now, let's get this show started. But before we get the show started, I'm going to take some call-ins tonight, and I'm only going to take calls around at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, about a half hour from now. And if everybody's got a pen and pencil in their hand, I'll go ahead and give you the number. That way you can write it down. I'll say it once right now. I may repeat it again later. But the number is, you guys can even call us if you don't like us. I'll still be respectful to you. The number is 1-800-508-5431. Give us a call around 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Give us a half hour to talk about a few things. But I want to start off. I want you guys. Can you guys imagine a world without the United States? And Les, Dave, I want your guys' opinion on what this world would be like without the United States being here. Without the just say we disappeared today. What would happen to this world, you guys?
Just look over anywhere in the Middle East, any of your third world countries. It would be dog eat dog, and if we had a UN, everything would be under UN control. There'd be mass starvation. You wouldn't have the technology that you have. It would just be one big giant hellhole.
What do you think, Dave? What would this world be like, brother?
Absolutely, it would be. It'd be catastrophic. We are the greatest nation in the world. Everything that we've brought to the world to help them. If you look at that stuff, we have changed the course of history many, many, many times.
Just think there wouldn't be hamburgers and hot dogs, you guys. That's just the little things, though. But you guys know since the end of the 19th century, we became an industrialized nation, and actually we became one of the most powerful nations since Rome.
Well, Donald, not only that, Donald, we taught the world how to be agricultural, how to move water, and the Romans was real good about that. and we probably learned a lot about it from them. But I mean, we feed the world, man.
Well, I was telling Dave today, and Dave can he can say something if he wants to, but we was talking about this today, Les, and like shipping, the shipping lanes, and how we transport goods from one country to another. I mean, you think piracy was bad back a long time ago? Just imagine without the United States Navy out there in those waters, how bad piracy would be without the United States. I mean, I know it's a silly question, but the world would be a total different place without this nation that we're living in right now, you guys.
Absolutely. You don't got to go back as far as to the First or Second World War to see the impact that we played in it.
Oh yeah. Well, Dave, you remember the Somalian pirates? That was I forget the islands they was coming out of, robbing these cargo ships. That hasn't been too long ago. And
I think, is it still going on, Les? I mean, I haven't heard too much about it lately. I think our Navy's taking care of that mostly now, ain't they?
It's been quite a while, but now they have been some of their cargo ships that have hired like Blackwater people, or they've had their own security. And I've seen some videos, son. They put them to running. When they headed their way, they put the lead to them.
Oh, I know, Dave.
Yeah.
If it was up to Dave, he'd sure put a few bullets in them boats coming at you, wouldn't you, Dave?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you guys, this is kind of a sad story. It's not political, you guys, but did you guys hear? Right here in our own state that we live in, there's this mother that found her 2-year-old daughter froze to death on her front porch. I mean, like I said, it happened right here in Akron, Ohio on Friday afternoon. She had 2 kids. She took her 4-year-old son with her and left her 2-year-old daughter home alone with her father, and her father worked third shift, so I guess he fell asleep. But here's my question, you guys. I mean, this is horrible. How come, I mean, it was an apartment complex, too. How come nobody that drove by there seen this little girl laying on the porch, or how come the neighbors, somebody didn't see this child? Laying on the porch as cold as it's been. This is sad, you guys. It's really sad.
Well, Don, I don't know exactly what time of the day it was when that happened, but probably wasn't very many people. You know how kids, mainly in the summertime, they're all over the place in these apartment complexes. Kids are running around everywhere. There probably wasn't, too many people moving around. It was cold outside, and she had probably left, I think it was the baby's father or her father, I don't remember. But he'd watched that kid 1,000,000 times before, and just happened to fall asleep at a particular time. And
oh God, Les, you got to watch your kids, though, man. You can't leave your kids with somebody who's worked third shift, though. I mean, I'm a grandfather, and I would never take on the role of watching any of my grandchildren or children if I had worked third shift. What about you, Dave?
It'd definitely be hard. I mean, I think if I'd done that, I would try to make sure that I had some locks up high on the door or something where they couldn't get out.
Right, especially as cold as it's been, you guys. And now I guess this next subject, you guys know there's been a lot going on since we've had all aboard since our last show, but this next subject is, I know it's something, Dave, that really makes you mad. Les, I know it really ticks you off, too. And you guys know the pecking order. Les gets the first one on it. Here we go. This has been the biggest story of the week. This Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, better known as FISA. It's been abused, guys. There's been a lot of abuse going on in our country. Les, you start off. I've got actually 10 things here that we know that it's done, but if you want to start talking, go ahead, man. Talk about FISA. What happened here, man?
Well,
you and Dave both. Have at it.
Well, from the very beginning of that, we was warned about the dangers of it, and Rand Paul was one of them. And now you see we're going through the effects of the abuse of it at people at the very top level of the food chain, and the FBI, the Justice Department. I wouldn't even doubt it if that FISA judge, he's probably dirty. And so there's several more memos to come out now and
that's what I wanted to ask you. Before you get any further, I mean, I want Dave to chime in on this too, both you guys. But what is up with the Democrats talking about releasing their memos? Wasn't these their memos? Wasn't this all about what they did? I mean, they used that the FBI basically they hijacked this. They abused this for their political reasons. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but this foreign intelligence surveillance, it's actually a court. You guys know that, right? It's a foreign intelligence surveillance court. It's a court, and you go and you get warrants to use that. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, but
yes.
you got your NSA that's gathering all this information.
But the FBI, aren't they the ones that abused it the most?
Yeah, they take this information and they abuse it, and the Democratic Party is doing nothing but trying to lie out of it. That's all they're trying to do.
They're just saving face. That's all they ever try to do after the fact.
Right. Well, they're wanting these other documents, them and the FBI. These documents coming from this FISA and the FISA court. They're wanting them heavily redacted, and that's the reason.
Oh no, I don't want no marked out forms. No.
Well, you know why they want that done, don't you?
Well,
now sources and certain names they're going to black out. But Donald, there's a plot behind that. They want it heavily redacted so they can say Trump and the Republicans is hiding stuff.
Well, so so they want it released so it can be redacted, so they can say we're hiding stuff.
Well, what they're trying to do, I think, is they're trying to make it to where they can justify Mueller's investigation to keep going forward. Sure. They're trying to justify his investigation. But if you start putting the pieces together, I mean, look, the DNC rigs the Democratic Party election against Bernie Sanders so Hillary can win the nomination. Obama's administration starts to request surveillance on Trump, his family, his transition team, and anyone associated with him. Donna Brazile gives Hillary the questions to a debate. The DNC pays Christopher Steele to come up with a smear dossier about Trump. The mainstream media released tape conversations about him talking about grabbing women. All of this is to thwart him from winning the general election. He wins the general election, and now they're just looking for a reason to try to knock him down. They're trying to make it so Mueller can justify his investigation.
But don't you guys?
In a nutshell.
But Les, wouldn't you and Dave both agree that Mueller should just go ahead and drop the investigation, because we know now that Trump never colluded with Russia? Basically, it was all a lie. So why keep the investigation going, guys? Why?
Well, that's just like the people that they've indicted, okay, and they've got them for other things. They got them for lying. I can't remember their names, but it's totally unrelated to the Russia thing, but they sat down and talked to this special prosecutor, the Mueller, and that's where they got him. When they sat down and they talked to him, they were trying to do the same thing to Donald Trump. And, you know, the only reason Donald Trump hasn't fired him is
he just don't want to look bad or something, right, Les?
No, he don't care about not looking bad.
Or look guilty about something.
He don't want to. He wants it to destroy itself, and it's doing a good job of destroying itself. It's going to come to a point, I think, during the release of these documents, it's going to look so bad. He's going to fire Mueller.
Because he knows that the Democratic Party, there's no merit to it. He knows that they've colluded. He knows they've lied. He knows they've cheated, and it was all to put him. He knows that the investigation needs to be stopped, in my opinion, immediately. You know, if anything, Mueller needs to turn around and go investigate the Democratic Party.
If there's anything to Mueller, Dave, that's what he will do. But, you know, I don't have no confidence in him. He should be fired, hire a new special counsel to go after Obama and Hillary. They're the authors of this. Go after people in the Justice Department, FBI. dog catchers, whoever's involved in this needs to go to prison.
Well, you guys, the Russ history to me is dead. And if you guys are like me and like the rest of America, or at least the people who don't believe in this crap, I mean, we're all tired of hearing about this Russian collusion thing. I have been so sick of this. This needs to die, and it needs to die now. And the president even said a lot of these people should be ashamed of themselves, and it's a disgrace. He tweeted that, you guys. It's a disgrace.
I don't think they need to be ashamed of themselves. I think they need to be prosecuted for what they've done. Somebody needs to be held accountable for what the Democratic Party has done. That there have been people that have broke the law. They are not above the law. You know, if we break the law, we get punished, just like them. They're not above it. If you break the law, you deserve to be punished. And there's proof that they broke the law.
Well, you know, Dave, this borders on treason because they did collude with a foreign government. And that was Steele. You know, Steele was he was an ex-agent and a British agent.
Yeah, UK, yeah.
And
UK.
So, you know, as far as I'm concerned, brother, they've committed treason. And if they don't hold nobody accountable for this, if nobody goes to prison, nobody's held accountable, then we have two justice systems, one for them and one for us.
Well, you know, I've always said we don't have a justice system, we have a legal system, and it's broken. I don't think anybody's going to be held accountable, and I think the biggest problem is, you know, and you always hear what's not the rank and file, it's not the rank and file. Well, guess what, guys? The rank and file took the same oath that we did to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States. So if you see that the people above you circumventing the Constitution and you don't say nothing, you're just as guilty as they are.
Absolutely. Amen,
Exactly.
brother. Amen.
Well, you know, just like a bad cop, then they're police, they are law enforcement. You know, if you see your partner going bad, it's your obligation to say something about it.
Well, you guys, to me, the Democratic Party, they're like a drowning man right now, grasping for straws. That's what it seems like to me, you guys.
Well, you know, they're broke too. Broke.
I was just fixing to say that, Dave. Yeah.
They need to be broke. I hope they, you know, you guys know the Whig Party back before Abraham Lincoln became a Republican. You know the Whig Party used to be like a real big party in American history, and they disassembled. So I hope one day that the Democratic Party does disassemble. Like Dave said before, and Les, you guys both have said it, the Democratic Party used to be a good party years ago, but they've still done a lot of bad things in their history, guys. And this, I'm not meaning to be racist or nothing, but a lot of black people still vote for the Democrats, and I don't understand why, when the Democrats, they're the ones that created the Ku Klux Klan, or however it's the Ku Klux Klan. The Democrats, they've done a lot of shady things in history, you guys. They used to make black people vote for Democrats for their party.
Well, I think it goes back to big government, Donald. If the government is big enough to give them what they need and they don't have to work for it, you know, that's the reason that they're all voting Democrat. It's what's in it for me. What is the government going to give me today?
You're right, Dave.
Yeah.
But
well, that started out as a necessity, you know, because after slavery, and then, you know, and time passed, and then they got the right to vote. I mean, things was really hard on them at one time, and you did still had a lot of racism going on, and government stepped in.
Well, how come, Les? I don't mean to interrupt you, Les, but how come they don't think about Abraham Lincoln? He is the one who basically freed the slaves. He was the first Republican president. Why did they, well, I guess it's like Dave said, because the liberals want to give them everything. Give people things.
It boils down to Donald, and there was an era of time in our history where blacks nor whites, either one, was educated. They didn't have the book learning. They didn't have the history. They just knew what they knew, or knew what somebody else told them. And the government took advantage of that.
It's sad, you guys. It's very sad.
But as I said in my videos, I don't know if you watched it or not, I commend these black conservatives that's coming out on YouTube, buddy, that's standing up in their neighborhoods, and you see more and more of them leaving that plantation. Hey, my hat's off to them, brother.
And that's the thing. A lot of times people will use where they're from as an excuse, or, this happened in my life and that happened in my life. And it's not an excuse, guys. Life gives everybody ups and downs. You roll with it, you dust yourself off, you get back up, and you keep going.
You're breaking up really bad there, Dave.
Well, I'll let everybody out there know that Dave, my co-host, he is a truck driver, and he is somewhere in another state right now, and he's sitting somewhere probably in a truck stop. So excuse my my good friend Dave Coots here if he does break up every now and then, because he is running off a mobile hotspot right now. He's not at home plugged in like we are, Les. So, everybody out there, give him a break a little bit. Do a sound check, Dave.
Hello.
Hey, you're coming through good. All right, you guys. I don't know if you guys heard that John McCain's going to be pushing this new immigration bill this week that leaves out a border wall but includes amnesty for these so-called dreamers. Now, that ticks me off, you guys. It really does.
Yeah.
Well, John McCain strikes back again. I'm tired of it, man. I'm tired of it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a lot of the rest of them up there, Donald. He's overserved his time, and they become so arrogant, and they become so out of touch. He's been out of Arizona so long, he's lost his mind. He's just lost his mind, and he don't want that wall. That thing he proposed, bill he proposed, had no funding for the wall in it. He's a globalist.
I thought he was a Republican.
I think he's just stupid. I think his mental capacity might come into question because of his illness. I think he's a Reno. I'm like you said, Les. He's been in office entirely too long. Now, you want to talk about something that gets me fired up? Is a career politician. There is no way John McCain, Mitch McConnell. I mean, these guys might as well wear their suit jacket with advertisements on their special interest groups that's got their hands in their pockets. There's no reason you should be serving 20, 30, 40 years in any public office in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, make them wear NASCAR outfits with their sponsors all on them.
Well, why is it that the president only gets to serve 2 terms, but the House and Senate, they can just keep on going back, getting voted in? The United States Supreme Court justices, that's a job for life. I mean, if the president has to be voted out, they should too. The senators and representatives should have to be voted out too.
Well, there was one president that did serve 3 terms, and then Congress passed
Roosevelt, though, right? I mean, because of World War II, right, Les?
Yeah.
I wasn't around in the days.
See, there wasn't always term limits on president, and then Congress passed the law.
Yeah, wasn't it an amendment?
As an amendment.
How come none ever served 3 terms except for Franklin Roosevelt then?
Well, because they amended the Constitution.
They amended the Constitution, but here's the thing: Congress should never, ever pass a law that excludes themselves from it. If you look at like say California, their state constitution, they pass some of the strictest gun laws in the country, and then the next thing they do is they exclude the legislatures from the law. That's bullcrap. If they make a law, they should have to follow it, just like Obamacare. They made Obamacare, they voted it in, and then they turn around and voted it to where they didn't even have to be a part of it. So you're forcing it on me and saying it's good enough for me, but it's not good enough for you, and I voted you in office.
Well, they do send that Social Security. Okay, they don't draw Social Security, they don't pay into it. They've got these big cushy bank accounts and 401ks, whatever they got. And, that's why it's such a political football for them. That's why nothing never gets solved up there, is because everything they pass doesn't apply to them.
Gridlock. I wrote it down, I can't find it, but I was just reading something, you guys, about a guy up in Minnesota. I think his name was A.K. Hassan. I don't know if I sent you guys a story, but this guy, I know it's not in a real big office. It's like for, I don't even know what it was, but he was a refugee from Somalia, and you was just mentioning them Somalia and pirates down there, Les, but this guy took oath of office this year, put his left hand, he swore he took the oath on a Koran. Took the oath. This is America, man. We don't take oaths on Korans in this country. What's going on in this country, you guys? Come on, it's got to stop, guys.
Well, Donald, that was, he took a seat in District 3 up in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis,
Yeah, on a park board. Okay, now, but that's where it starts. Now, I tell you, Ben's that we're constitutionalists. I mean, he does have his freedom of religion, okay, and he can't run for president, okay, but he can be a representative. My question is, what are you swearing on when you put your hand on that Koran?
That's what I'm mad about.
Our heads off?
That's what I'm mad about.
What are you swearing about? Well, you know, there's nothing in there that I've seen worth swearing on.
Well, and I kind of look at it like this. I mean, you come to our country. You've got two choices. You can assimilate or not assimilate. You obviously come here for a reason. Why? Because it's the greatest country in the world. So when you come, if you don't want to assimilate, get out. Leave. We don't need you. We don't want you. Leave.
I'm just like you, Dave. I believe in immigration with assimilation. I mean, I'm a poet and don't know it, you guys.
Sounds good to me. Well, you know, I totally agree with Dave. And but the thing about this particular issue is we do have freedom of religion.
You're right.
And you know, this guy, he wants to swear on the Koran constitutionally.
I don't like it,
we really can't stop him now.
No,
my biggest problem is with judges doing this.
They see.
Well, but it goes back to when they want Sharia law. Our judicial system is the law of the land. Sharia law, you know, if they want to go take it that far, it has no place in our country.
Exactly. Oh, I agree. And see, that's the thing about there's a judge or two somewhere. I don't know what level of judges they are. I can't remember. But they was swore in on the Koran. Now, I have a problem with that. I don't know what the solution is. But like you said, Dave, you know, it's there's a conflict of interest there, it seems to me like.
Well, it's Sharia law is in direct conflict with every belief that we have.
Oh, yeah, well, you know, and a lot of them claim not to believe in Sharia law, but still, the Quran can't exist in our legal system with the way our legal system and our beliefs is set up.
Well,
couldn't you?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Donald.
No.
I was going to say, couldn't you see telling your wife that she has to stay covered up and she can't go out in public by herself?
No, I wouldn't do my wife that way, and I know you guys wouldn't either. But you guys, this whole thing, I don't know. It's just this PC culture. It's all being created since the last 20 years. It seems like this stuff wasn't around when I was a kid, and I get so mad. And this is something me and Dave was talking about earlier. And I know he's going to get fired. This is something that fires Dave up. I was telling you guys earlier that last night I watched this movie. It's about Chris Kyle. What was the name of that movie, Dave? What was it called?
American Sniper.
American Sniper. And I watched that Benghazi movie. Now, what was the name of that one, Dave? I forget the name of it.
13 Hours.
13 Hours. And me and Dave got to talking about those two movies. And a lot of people in this country, they don't really think about our military guys anymore. They don't give them a thought. That's why I always start this show, you know, sending my prayers out to the guys serving in the military. I watched these two movies last night, and I got so mad. I mean, the Benghazi story, I knew the story, but when you actually watch it, what it's kind of about, I mean, they did that to Ambassador Chris Stevens. They drug his body around. They treated him horrible. Why is it, you guys? Why is them people, it seem like over in the Middle Eastern countries, so mean and nasty? Why do they got to be that way for?
Well, Donald, it's a cultural thing, but it begins with a spiritual thing. Okay, that people that have no compassion, they have no love for one another. And, you know, from my standpoint, as a Bible-believing Christian, that's the only place I can start. It's a demonic evil is what it is. And it's unleashed. What you see over there is unleashed human nature.
Well, Les Dave said that those guys over in Libya, Benghazi, Libya, they killed Chris Stevens. Dave told me, and Dave, you can kill him if you want to, but that guy actually liked them people. He loved them people over there, and they killed him.
Well, he was a good man. Everything I've ever found about him is he was. He tried to help them people, and Hillary Clinton sold him out.
Well, that's, you know, Chris Stevens wanted to make a difference in Libya. He wanted to bring them democracy. But the thing about it is, those people don't want democracy.
No, they don't. See, and that's the thing, Dave, and you know that better than I do. Not everybody in these foreign countries we go into, they want what they can get out of us, but they'll cut our throat just as soon as we turn our back.
Oh, I believe you're right.
Absolutely. I mean, look, Stevens, Doherty, Smith, and Woods. I mean, four American patriots that paid the ultimate sacrifice because of politics.
Well, I want to ask this question to Dave, then you can answer it, Les, but I watched that movie last night, you guys, and there was there was a place like a mile away from that, where the ambassador was, and there was, what was that, Dave? What was that place?
That was a CIA outpost.
Well, why was it that they was told not to go? Why was they told to stand down so many times? Why was they told to stand down, Dave?
Well, who knows? I mean, it's been speculated it come from the top all the way down to the outpost director. I mean, but who knows?
Here's what I'm going to get you mad. Here's what I'm going to get you really mad, because we talked about this the other day. Since I watched this movie last night, Dave, here's the part that really makes me mad about that whole Benghazi thing. But that Hillary, that witch, I didn't say the B word, I said the W word, that witch sat right there in that Senate hearing and said, at this point, what difference does it make? Those men died right there. She didn't care. That woman needs to go to jail, you guys. She needs to be down at Guantanamo Bay right now.
Well, if you want my opinion, that was a gun-running operation, went bad. Them boys was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
No other ambassador from any other country was there, Les, except for Chris Stevens.
And he got there too early. I think that I think Hillary Clinton and Obama was running guns, man, to the rebels.
They were running guns to Syria, and they didn't want people to know about it.
And so rebels.
They sit and watch 4 Americans get slaughtered, and then she had the nerve to say, what does it matter? You know what I'd say you need to do? Put Hillary Clinton in a room with one of those mothers, one of those fathers, one of those sons or daughters of those men that died. Put her in a room for 5 minutes and let her say that to them to their face.
Well, I think that Stevens was just an innocent bystander, Dave, and he got caught up in the middle of that. It's either that or Hillary Clinton put him there so he would get killed.
That's what I was going to ask you.
Because he knew too much.
That's what I was going to ask.
I've always referred to the Clinton machine.
You're probably right on that one. And I'm only bringing this up, you guys. I know it's old news, but I watched these movies last night, and that's why I'm bringing it up. And me and Dave was talking, I think it was last night, Les, and Dave said the thing that really gets him upset, but he really can't do nothing, is when somebody burns an American flag. And it really ticks him off because he's a constitutionalist. You know what I mean? All of us get mad when we see somebody burning a flag. That's disrespectful. A flag should be treated like a living entity, and the flag code should be enforced. I believe our flag code of this country should be enforced, you guys.
Yeah, well, I'm the same way. It just burns me up, especially when an illegal burns it while they're flying the American flying the Mexican flag, or a Somalian flag, or wherever they may be, while they're flying that flag and burning the American flag. There is a protocol, and hey, I don't know why they don't enforce it. It's there. Start finding these people, putting them in jail.
Dave said it was our first Constitution, or what is it, First Amendment?
Yeah, the Supreme Court ruled it as free speech. So
yeah.
I mean, and here's the thing, though: those people, you can't reason with them, but when you try to, you know, I've seen Antifa. I've dealt with Antifa firsthand. You know, when they're about to step on the flag, you go over and tell them, you know, young man, just because you have the right to do that doesn't mean you should. If you're trying to bring awareness to a situation, and you're trying to get somebody to follow you or to get behind what you believe in, you're not going to do it by disrespecting my flag and stepping on it, spitting on it, walking on it. You're going to piss the country off. If you want to be mature about it, you know, start a dialogue. I'll help you talk to people about it if you do it the right way, but don't step on my flag.
And why does that flag blow, Dave? I didn't mean to cut you off, Les, but why does that flag blow, Dave?
Well, it's said that the flag doesn't wave because of the wind, but the flag waves because of the last dying breath of every American patriot that ever died defending it.
Well, see,
think about that. Let's go ahead.
That's where I've heard that before, and it's a beautiful saying, but I honestly disagree. I know our Supreme Court is there to interpret the law to make sure it's constitutional. However, I vehemently disagree with that decision. Just as strong as I disagree with their decision on abortion. I believe that opened the door for a lot of this rebellion you see right now in the United States, from people like Antifa and from these foreigners. So
and we were talking about it earlier. You know, here's the thing: you see them burn. You see them burning the flag here, and then you look overseas and you see the PLO, the Palestinians burning it.
Yeah.
All these countries, Turkey and here, if they're burning our flag and they're disrespecting our country, they're not an ally. Why are we giving them money? Stop supporting those countries that do that. If you burn our flag, you do not deserve our help.
Well, Dave, it wasn't only Palestine here recently. They wasn't just burning the American flag. They were burning effigies. You know what an effigy is? Like a dummy of Donald Trump and Mike Pence and Benjamin Netanyahu. They were burning those effigies of them men. And right there, Palestine, you don't need any money from the United States. I'm sorry. Yes, Dave, cut funding off for Palestine. Cut it off immediately. Don't give them anything.
Well, for the Palestinians, yeah, that's actually not Palestine anymore. It's Israel now, but the Romans,
ain't part of Israel Palestinian, though?
It used to be. The Romans named it Palestine, and that's actually Latin for the people are gone. The Romans tried to wipe the Jews out in their day, and they still claim it as Palestine. The Palestinians do. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about that. Remember last someone's show, but
and they're just Arabs, is all they are. They have no connection to that place at all.
I mean, other than them forming a government and trying to lay claim to it, I mean, and they're just mad because Trump is moving our embassy to Jerusalem.
Yeah, well, they have a history there, but like I said, they're not Palestinians. That's a made-up name. Back in the 60s when Arafat was...
I remember Arafat, yeah.
He somehow become their leader. Hey, let's call ourselves Palestinians. They're nothing but Arabs. That's all they are. They're Arabs. They have no claim to that property.
Well, Dave, I want to move on here. Iranian's foreign minister threatened the end of humanity in response to the Pentagon's plans to revamp its nuclear arsenal. Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah.
The Pentagon released a nuclear arms policy Friday that calls for 2 new types of weapons, you guys. I guess we're going to start rebuilding our military like we should have been under those 8 years of Obama. Now Trump has to come along and rebuild the whole military up again, it seems like. He should have never took money away from military funding anyway. Now Trump is stuck with this, trying to get all this done, get our wall put up. Yes, I do believe we need a border wall. You don't have to look nowhere further than Europe to see that we need a border wall. And I'm sick of it, you guys. There's a lot of things in this country that I'm sick of.
Well, that was that foreign minister, Sharif, over there, and Iran, Donald, and I like a quote that General Mathis, Mad Dog Mathis, said, look the world in the eye and see the world for what it is. And he's a realist, man, and he sees it for exactly what it is. And yes, we need the world in the shape it's in. The billions of dollars Obama gave to Iran, that Iranian nuclear deal, Hillary selling our uranium to the Russians. We have to build our nuclear arsenal up, and we've got to protect ourselves.
It sounded like Dave fell on the truck. Dave, you okay there? I heard a truck door open.
It wasn't me.
Oh, that sounded like a truck door open, man.
Maybe your neighbor, Donald.
I don't know. It may be a ghost in my house. I don't know. Obama administration, they tried to reduce our arsenal and minimize the role of nuclear weapons in defense planning. You guys, it's just crazy. It's nuts.
You know, the thing.
Go ahead,
I'm sorry, Don. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. The
thing with Iran is, though, I mean, they've saber rattle all the time. That's all they do is saber rattle. But the difference is now they have the funding to make some of these threats a reality because of Obama.
Sure they do. And they may be the 10th country, like I said, the 10th nation in the world to have nuclear power because of Hillary Clinton and Obama. Thanks, you two. We really needed another country with nuclear power. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Donald, but I was just going to say real quick, that's like North Korea. I mean, look at them.
Well, they should have been stopped years ago, Les. They should have been stopped I think it was right after Reagan, they started wanting to build a nuclear arsenal, and every president after Reagan and before Trump should have put an end to that stuff. We had spineless presidents, and I hate to say that about any president because I have respect for the title, President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief, but they were spineless. They're not like Trump, you guys.
But that's what happens when you don't win a war, Donald. When you sign these ceasefires.
We're still at war with Korea. And Les, we're still at war with
them. We just signed an armistice. We didn't sign. We never signed a treaty or nothing to end the war.
Well, did you guys hear Nancy Pelosi? That I don't know what you call her. I'm not even going to say nothing. But Nancy Pelosi said that these people getting these $1,000 bonuses were crumbs. Now, this is coming from a very rich lady. Her father was actually a mayor when they used to call her the mayor's daughter. Now, she calls this crumbs. Now, I mean, here's the thing with me, you guys. I want to see a poor man run and become a representative. I want to see a poor man become a senator. But it's not going to happen in America, you guys, because it takes money. It just takes money to become a senator or a representative. And for her to say that's crumbs, I think that's a slap to every poor person in this country's face. She's slapping us right in the face, you guys. Dave, you want $1,000? You would like to have $1,000 bonus, wouldn't you?
Oh, absolutely. I'd buy $1,000 worth of ammo.
Well, she was also saying, too, that the little extra people were going to get on their checks, the little $20, $25 a week. She called that crumbs, too, basically. So, that helps people, poor people who work from week to week. If you take $25 a week, you guys, that's $100 a month. That'll pay a water bill. You know what I'm saying? That adds up, man, when you're poor.
It don't matter how big or how much or small it is. When you get money back from the government, any government level, that's money that they stole from you to start with, Donald. My wife's still working. She got some money put in her 401k. She got a bonus because of this. And if it would have been 40 or 50 bucks, I'd have been grateful to get that. That's not crumbs to me, brother.
Absolutely, and I want to know if you guys heard what Jimmy Kimmel said about conservatives. He said that conservatives were not intelligent enough to host a late-night show. What do you guys think about that? Jimmy Kimmel saying conservatives aren't intelligent enough.
He's just a liberal elite. I don't even know how people like him get their darn job. Whose hind end did he kiss to get that job? You know,
you just have to be a moron to say stupid crap. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, look at Donald Trump. I mean, you just look at him, where he come from. I mean, he wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
Now wait a minute, Les. I think they was rich, but they hung around a lot of the construction workers and stuff. They knew what poor people live like, Les. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Well, when his dad died, his mom took the company over, and his older brother, they built that. They worked hard, Donald.
Well, sure they did.
When they come here as immigrants, they married over here. His dad was from Germany. His mother was from Switzerland. And when they come over here, they didn't have pot to piss in.
Well, Les, don't get me wrong. I am not against rich people because you cannot attack the rich in this country.
People.
Well, they're the ones that give poor people jobs, so
exactly.
You can't tax the crap out of them. You can't regulate the crap out of them, and it's ridiculous. And that's why I'm glad Donald Trump is putting an end to. Well, he ain't putting an end to it, but he said, what is it? For every new regulation, 2 has to go, or something like that.
Yeah. Hey,
and that's one of the reasons all these. That's one of the reasons all these companies are repatronizing their money and the countries because of that. Because you know the tax plan and the regulations, we can be competitive again. We can compete with countries overseas that normally we couldn't compete against. Why? Because there was too many government regulations and their tax brackets were too high.
No wonder they was leaving this country, Dave, putting their countries and taking their business to other countries. It was taxes and regulations. Well, heck, anybody, I think you would even leave, wouldn't you, Dave?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I'm self-employed, and if I could go to Mexico and triple my money, why wouldn't I? I mean, that's just common sense.
What about you, Les?
Well, I mean, we had the highest business tax rate in the world, 35%, higher than anybody else in the world. And you can't strangle a business and then flourish, man. You know, I mean, it's ridiculous. And the reason why I'm not rich, I'll tell you why I'm not rich. Okay, I'm smart enough, but I never made that my life goal. I never had the drive. I never had the determination. I wasn't willing to pay that sacrifice. It's not like them people just come out of the womb rich. You know, most people that's wealthy in this country, they started with nothing.
Well, you're right, but there's a lot of people that started out rich too, Les. I mean, it goes both ways there, brother.
Hey, you check the stats. There's less inherited wealth in this country than they are people that's self-made millionaires.
And that goes back to us being the land of opportunity.
Exactly.
Now, wait a minute now. I just wanted to move on a little bit, you guys. To get a little humor in our show here. You know, I want more humor in this show. I'd like to have more humor, and to me, talking about Maxine Waters is funny, you guys, and it is to me. I got to bring up this guy, Maxine Waters. She looks like a guy. She called for parental advisory when Trump was on TV. She said she's trying to protect our children from the president. This is the mentality of most of these liberals, you guys. It's borderline insanity. You guys, Maxine Waters is insane. She's crazy.
Donald, you know, and then on the other hand, she'll stand up and for the murdering of babies and the selling of body parts of babies. She was one of the front runners when that boy come out with them films on Planned Parenthood selling them baby parts. She was on the front row, buddy, standing up for Planned Parenthood. They're opportunists. They're just like buzzards, Donald. They're opportunists. Whatever they see dead in the middle of the road, they're going to go down and get a piece of it.
Come on, Dave. It's your turn to chew on Maxine.
I mean, she's an idiot. I don't know other way to put it. She's an idiot. Some of the stuff that these guys say, they throw it up against the wall, and if it sticks, then it makes them look smart, and if it falls down, everybody excuses them because they know they're dumbasses anyway.
Come on, Les, Dave. I mean, she's a representative of the United States of America, and calling for a parental advisory against the president of the United States.
That's
That's insanity, Les and Dave.
It's a show, and there's people that'll vote for her again, brother. That's a big show.
And that's my thing. I mean, who's the crazy person here? Maxine Waters? Or the person that's voting for Maxine Waters?
They're all crazy.
Yeah.
They're all crazy.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys hear about Fidel Castro's eldest son killed himself? I just want to ask you guys that. They said he was being treated for depression. You guys remember Fidel Castro?
He's a manic depressant, and I tell you what,
I'd have been depressed too the way my dad treated his people. I'd have been depressed.
It's sad that anybody would kill themselves, but you don't have to worry about him raising up and being another Fidel.
Well, his uncle's running the country now, Omar.
Omar. His uncle's got it. Yep. Maybe that's why. Maybe he wanted it.
Yeah, but he's up in the years too, man. So.
Well, maybe it wasn't suicide like they said. Maybe the uncle had him killed. Who knows?
Yeah,
it's a communist little country, 50 miles off the border of Florida, right?
90 miles. Yeah.
Is it 90 miles?
90 miles.
That's something I can't believe. Why we would always allow that country, a communist country, to be that close to our country, you guys. I mean,
we own a piece of it, Donald. We got
Guantanamo. Yeah. Yeah, but they was having Russians put their missiles up there during the Kennedy administration, and also
the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah, and I'll give a Democrat credit right there. I think Kennedy did an awesome job during the Cuban Missile Crisis, you guys.
Different party, brother. That was when Democrats.
Yeah. Jimmy had to come in on that one.
Jimmy.
I'm sorry. I just couldn't help myself.
You're fine. We love you, Jimmy. Anytime you want to talk on here, you're more than welcome, brother. Did you guys hear about this high school in Vermont that raised a Black Lives Matter flag up?
Oh, man.
It was some kind of big ceremony they was having. I just want to know if you guys heard about that, but I think that the principal should have made them take that down, but I don't think he did, you guys.
He should have never let them put it up, brother. I mean, if you want to tie it on a stick and walk around with it, that's one thing, but I mean, they've almost had a orgasm, man, when they flew that thing up there. Insanity.
It is, and I'll tell you right now, if they flew it and one of my kids was going there, they wouldn't be going to that school anymore. I'd yank their asses out.
I would too.
I'd have had a fit on them, son.
You guys, we got like 5 minutes left. I want to ask you guys something, but I don't want it to sound racial. I'm trying not to. I'm not racist, you guys. But I think. Here, the month is February, you guys. You guys know this is Black History Month in the United States right now, all across the United States. Here's a question I want to ask Les, you, and Dave, and I want you both to answer it. We got 5 minutes left. What if, let's just say, what if there was one, I don't know, what do you call a school district? One school district in the United States decided to have a White History Month. I mean, they would be sued and probably jailed, you guys. So to me, this Black History Month, I know it should be it should be all American history. They shouldn't divide us like that. It's just more division in our country, you guys. That's how I feel. But somebody's calling. You guys want me to take the call?
Take the call.
Take it.
All right. I missed it, you guys. I didn't get to it in time. Yeah, who's ever out there calling, please call back. But how do you guys feel about that, this Black History Month? Do you guys think it's more division?
It's racism.
I mean, if you said White History Month, that would be automatically considered racism, right?
Donald, that's reverse racism. It's just
I would even think White History Month would be racist. But, I mean, here's the thing, Les and Dave. Why don't we just all have it one history and be American history?
Yes.
Just like we've always talked, African American. Let's be Americans. We're not English Americans or Caucasian Americans. My God, we're Americans. Let's all stick together in this country. Well, I'm tired of the division. All the division has to stop. All right, they're calling me back, you guys. We'll take it.
Take it.
Hang on, you guys.
Call for extension
I gotta hit one.
Accept, press 1. To send the vote.
Hello, thanks for calling all aboard. Could you give us your first name and what state you're calling from, please?
Chris.
Oh, it's Chris. Hey, what's up, man?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Well, are you listening to the show? You guys, you know that you can't hear my co-host. So, is there anything you want to say real quick, Chris?
I'm just saying, y'all doing a good job. Keep doing what y'all doing.
Well,
I really don't have much to say.
Well, thanks for calling in, buddy. It's always a pleasure to hear from you.
Thank you, Chris.
Les and Billy Jack here. Dave said, thanks, Chris.
All right, tell David thank you for his service.
He heard you. He can hear you, but you can't hear him. All right, bye, Chris. Thank you, buddy. Bye.
Yeah,
well,
Donald.
Dave, you heard that. He said, thank you for your service.
Yes, I did. Thank you, Chris.
He's gone. I let him go.
Yeah, that's reverse racism. That's just like the Black Caucus. That's just like the United Negro College. That stuff shouldn't even be allowed, man.
Affirmative action. What about affirmative action?
Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys. Here, before we got 2 minutes left. All right, you guys, take it this way. Look at it this way. What if China was to put boots on the ground here in America? I mean, let's say 1 million Chinese come in on the West Coast. Russia attacked us from the East Coast. All right. I guarantee you $100 to everybody out there that this country would sure unite then, you guys. We would all be Americans then.
Absolutely.
Why the division, you guys? Why is there always that division there? Why can't we all just be Americans? I've been saying it every show. I want to unite this country. I want to see a United States of America, not a divided States of America.
Well, I tell you, Donald, the greatest example I had of being colorblind, and Dave can tell you the same thing, is when I was in the military, when I was in the Army, and during all that training I done, we was fine-oiled machines, son.
All right, 20 minutes. We got to wrap it up, Les. This is Donald Whisman. I want to say goodbye to everybody. Please tune in next week. You guys say goodbye before he cuts you off.
Hey, goodbye. God bless you. I love you.
Goodbye, guys. God bless.
There ain't no room for the hopeless.